Ladies, today we're discussing boosting your confidence, okay? All things confidence related because we just need to. It's that kind of time where confidence is an all-time must. I feel like at summer, it's when all the women have been working on their bodies all year round and then they debut it as soon as some sunshine comes out. And sometimes it can make you feel less than when you are comparing yourself to other women. Confidence is the thief of joy. Now, for me, I'm Beyonce's double, so I don't have to worry about some of the things that other people may have to worry about. But I do have other days where I have down days, where I have lower self-esteem. Maybe you're having a down moment. Maybe you're just feeling more receptive to feeling insecure at that moment. Maybe it's a new relationship. Maybe it's a past relationship that's making you feel that way. Maybe it's the relationship that you have with yourself. In any event, confidence and lack of can affect most of us, if not all of us, at some point in our lives. So it's about getting on board and remembering the fundamentals of what I'm about to say in this video. Let's get into this topic. First things first, I think we have to remember at some point that, look, we need to understand that we are who we are and we can't be anybody else. So what we have to then realize is that it's about coming to an understanding with yourself that you are who you are, you look how you look, and you have to learn to accept that as a fundamental. If you can't do that, there are lots of people who are hung up on so many things about themselves and they just can't seem to get past it, and they think that everybody else has a problem with this thing because they have a problem with it. If you cannot and you do not want to get past that, you're going to have a very difficult time at ever having any self-esteem and confidence. Coming to an understanding with yourself, who you are, how you look, where your family comes from, where your parents come from, how tall you are, what your body looks like currently. You have to accept it right now. Once you've done that, you can start building upon that. Okay, now these are things to do if your confidence is low right now and you want to boost it back up. So listen very, very carefully. The first thing to do is to stop looking at like workout videos on Instagram, on TikTok, where people can literally not just edit their bodies, but they're also wearing like shapewear that lifts your bottom, boob jobs. That's not how people who have natural boobs, like, you're not okay. You've got to really understand that what is online isn't always it's not always going to be a possibility, because it's not always real. Sometimes it has been adapted. Sometimes there are filters on faces, okay, there are wigs on heads, there are this, that and the other, and it's not how that person looks most of the time in real life. Also, there are some people who dedicate their entire lives to beauty and to how they look. I personally am not one of those people. I don't want to be one of those people, and I'm not prepared to be one of those people. The reason why is because I like to still live life. I don't want to be constantly preoccupied with eating fully clean so I can just care about body and muscles and protein shakes and there are certain things I personally do not want to be my entire life, basically. And if you are not prepared for that to be your entire life, then you have to understand that, okay, you might not look like these people you are comparing yourselves to. Another thing that I think is good to get on board with is healthy eating, is exercise. Now, exercise doesn't mean you have to go and start lifting iron. It doesn't mean that. But what it does mean is that you need to start walking, being more active. At times when you're feeling lazy and you can't be bothered to get up and do something around the house, just get up and do that thing around the house. So I feel like just moving more generally is going to be a good thing for you. Also, just small things like putting on Cowboy Carter, okay, and doing a little dance, a 5-minute dance to one of her songs is going to be some form of exercise that can kind of break up your day, plus an hour walk here, a 30-minute walk there, cleaning up around the house, you know, for 45 minutes or so. These are things where you are actually exercising to a certain extent, okay? So let's remember that exercise doesn't have to be this long-winded thing. If you're like me and you're not a big exercise person, it doesn't have to be lifting weights, it doesn't have to be bench presses, it doesn't have to be push-ups and sit-ups. It can be walking. How cute is this little bralette thing I got from Zara? It does have a matching skirt, and I put that skirt on and I was like, no, because this is another thing actually that I would like to tie in, is to buy things that work for your body. Okay, how your body looks right now today, buy things that work for it right now. I currently personally have a lot more body fat around my entire torso area than I would like to, and it's something that I don't like, and I am now starting to take steps to rectify that, so I can feel more confident, so I can feel more comfortable about my body. And I went to Zara last week. I tried on a matching set, this little knit crop top and a matching skirt, and I literally looked maybe 3 months pregnant. I would have loved to have bought that set, but it didn't work for me. So I bought the part that did work for me and that I know I can make look nice, basically. So I didn't beat myself up. I wasn't horrible to myself. And instead I thought, okay, well, I don't like the way that looks for me. The crop top looks nice. I'll get that, and I'll just mix and match with other things that I like the way it makes my body look right now. So if you are being hard on yourself, don't. And instead buy clothing that suits you right now, okay? Don't be hard on yourself because you try something on and you don't like the way it looks. Also, insecurities can stem from relationships you're in right now. If you're dating someone who is maybe putting you down, trying to gaslight you, saying little jabs about you, the way you look, about your body, about your clothing, about your hair, these things can create issues that you may have, okay? It can stem from those things. Low confidence can stem from that, but you have to ultimately decide how you feel about yourself, okay? Regardless of what this body and that regardless of what this body and that body is saying about the way you look, you ultimately decide how you feel about it, okay? You decide, and that's something you need to remember. I hope you're writing these down because I don't know what number we're on. Hope you're writing these down. It's up to you. Okay, the choice is yours. Your confidence level is up to you. At the end of the day, you have to realize that any changes you want to make to yourself, it's not a necessity. It's not something you have to do, something you want to do. And if you haven't done it yet, don't be hard on yourself because of those things. Let's just take a boob job for example. You want a boob job, you haven't had it yet. You can be looking at yourself when you're wearing things and thinking, oh, just doesn't sit right. If I had that done, it would look much better, blah, 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 blah. But at the end of the day, you have to feel good about yourself now as well. Otherwise, when you get to having your boob job done or having that whatever done, you will get to the point where you're unhappy with that and you still want to make a change, or it's not good enough. You have to be happy with yourself now before you get anything done, and then you're able to progress. That's how I feel. Otherwise, you'll be one of those people who is addicted to constantly changing themselves. So I think it's really important to get good with yourself now. Okay, while you're not good with yourself, that is the perfect time to actually get good with yourself. and it probably sounds a little bit backwards, but it is the right way around. But that is the right way to go about things before you have any cosmetic procedures, and also before you have any, full on plastic surgery procedures or full on like whatever. I feel like you need to be good with yourself first. Another thing to do is to try not to be so dependent on your beauty enhancers and add-ons. So for me, I am taking a little break from wearing wigs. I became so dependent on wearing wigs to the point where I felt totally ugly without them. For me, that is just not acceptable mentally, to feel so dependent on an add-on that you can't function. You don't want to go out without it. You feel ugly without it. No, we have to get right with ourselves without all of our add-ons, without all of our hair on, without all of our makeup on. I've even just been doing mascara instead of wearing lashes, because that was another thing I felt like I was becoming dependent on to feel pretty. Okay, so for me, I just want to kind of challenge myself that I can and am Beyonce's double with wigs or without them, with lashes or without, because it's mental first. Okay, it's mental first, it's mentality first, because I think we've all met people who aren't the most beautiful, who maybe not the most attractive, but they think so much of themselves. Beauty can be in the eye of the beholder. Of course, there are things that we all like and that we all think are attractive in, men and women, whatever. But at the same time, you can have that confidence whether you're wearing makeup or not. Okay, and that's where we need to get to. Now let's speak about body confidence for a minute, because this is a big portion of how we look. Okay, we only have a head from here to here, and the rest is all body. Okay, so feeling good with your body, how you're looking in your clothing, is very important as well. If you are looking to just feel incredible about yourself, or perhaps you want to attract men because you want to date, or women if you're bi or whatever, at the end of the day, it's really about taking care of yourself and making a plan of action for your new body journey. The same way we have a femininity journey for like makeup, hair, clothing, we also need to have it for our bodies. Okay, a body goal journey. Okay, this is something that we need to have as well. I'm on one right now. I have not an amount of like weight that I want to lose, but it's more about how I look and how I feel to myself. That is my goal. Okay, just looking feel good to myself. That's my goal. And just really the stomach area. So at the end of the day, all of our goals are going to be different. All of our confidence levels are going to be boosted dependent on different things. But writing that down and knowing, okay, I don't like my arms. Okay, next to it, solution, more clothing where you can cover up and only show the things that you do like. If you don't like your tummy area, you might want to look into clothing that will help to hide it or help to accentuate other things, so not drawing your attention to the area that you do not like. Also look into shapewear and those things. So at the end of the day, body is a really big thing. Your body, having a scrub, these are all things that I am wanting to do, and I have a list of things that I want to start implementing, routines I want to start doing, even in terms of like exfoliating and how many times a week I want to do that, when I'm going to paint my nails, and just having more of a plan, of a beauty plan, so I know, okay, this is what I'm supposed to be doing on this day. Okay, that was 2 weeks ago that I did this. Okay, it's time to do that. Just having a beauty plan along with your femininity journey, and also doing exercise and eating more of a balanced diet on top of that, is going to be very beneficial for you, your confidence, your mental well-being, your happiness, your self-esteem as well. Plus, you're going to look better and you're going to feel better about the way you look. So you just can't lose. I am a person who is of the mindset that there is always going to be a flaw in somebody. I have never seen anybody who looks perfect ever in my life. They can look really great, but there can be one thing that you're like, oh, that isn't actually perfect. And we don't have to strive for perfection, okay? And when we do, we're going to end up rocking back and forth like this in an institute, in some kind of in a facility somewhere. So don't go for perfection. Instead, go for how you feel. Do you feel good? Do you feel good about the way you look? Do you feel good about yourself as a woman? That's what you go for. And if you do feel great, then that's excellent and you've done it. Now, the next thing I want to speak about is when you're out with your guy and he may be looking at other women. These things can cause insecurities as well. I've had so many comments over the years about these kind of things and DMs about these kind of instances. What do I do? I'm out with my boyfriend. He's looking at women. It makes me feel really bad, this and the other. I know what you mean, because I think for me, I hate being embarrassed. I hate the feeling of being embarrassed. And especially if my man, like the thought of if I'm with a man and he embarrasses me in front of another woman. Oh, okay. So that's not cool. But if it's in terms of like, if he has just glanced at someone, you've probably just glanced at someone as well. Okay. If he is bending up his neck to kind of look, then that is embarrassing to you. And then it's too much. But just a glance, noticing someone, or someone's wearing a super short skirt. Sorry, it's probably me. It's probably me, okay? And, he's just looked briefly and then, he's come back to reality. Let's not get upset about that, okay? Let's not get upset about it. Let's not. He is with you all the time. So when he sees something else, it's like, oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. But other men are whoa, whoa, whoaing when they see you, and when they see me, and when they see the other women, and blah, blah, blah. Because they don't see us all the time. So when you see something new, you notice it, and, then you move on. Most of the time when men look, they probably don't even, I actually know this by thought, they don't even know that they're doing it most of the time. It comes naturally, just to, like, glance or whatever. I think that we have to kind of not be hard on ourselves because a man looks at another woman, because other men are looking at you. And if other men aren't looking at you, then it's your job to do what you need to do to make sure that other men are looking at you, so that if your man doesn't understand what's really in front of him, then you can go and get somebody who does understand it. So I think it's the best thing to do to feel confident and full on, like, just strong in yourself in those situations, is to make sure that you look like the kind of woman who can meet someone else tomorrow if you want to. Because he will know you look like that, and he will be proud to be with that kind of woman. But also another thing I've noticed, and this is more so when dating older men, when they are with a younger woman who looks really lovely and, putting effort in, they feel good about the way she looks. They want, not all the time, not all of them, but they want sometimes attention from other women who put effort into their looks, to see the kind of women who they have on their arm, because it's just more about establishing, like, their status in a sense. So sometimes it can be good, it can be how do I say this? It can be a positive thing that they are actually showing or wanting other women to see, oh look what I've got. You know, look what I've got. It can actually sometimes be a good thing, and it's not always negative. And sometimes you have to realize that you know, it doesn't always mean that you're just boring and in the background. It can actually mean that you are not boring and not in the background, and that's why he wants other people to see him with you. So that was a long point. I got there in the end, but I hope that that makes sense. Okay, but the essence and the moral of this video is for you to keep your confidence going, keep it high, keep it right up there. Relationships can come and go, but the only relationship that will always be with you is your own relationship with yourself. So next time when you see a woman and you are going to compare yourself, look at her, look away, and look in a mirror somewhere. Okay, look at yourself, open the camera in your phone, or just remember how you looked when you left your home in the morning. Okay, and then you can remember, okay, yeah, she looks cute, but this is very cute as well. And you can stop putting yourself down. You have to nip it in the bud, otherwise it can ruin your mood, your hour, your week, your month. We don't have time for that, and we've got to uplift ourselves. So the moral of this story is to be kind to yourself mentally, physically, with having a balanced diet, getting that hour or whatever of exercise daily, every single day. And even if, you know, maybe on a Sunday you don't want to go for a walk, okay, that's fine. But at least make sure you are still giving yourself self-love, being nice to yourself, doing things that make you laugh, having a good time, constantly putting goodness and wellness into my cat just he's so cute. Constantly giving yourself mental and physical wellness and TLC. This is important, okay? Regardless of what other women are doing, how they're looking, you know, if they're going to the gym, if they're having... how do you look? How do you look? Are you wearing clothing that makes you look good? Have you got your perfume on? Are you wearing a hairstyle that you like, that you think suits you? Do you like your current makeup? Are you wearing clothing that accentuate what you want accentuated? You know, are you wearing footwear that is making you feel really good about your entire outfit? Are you wearing accessories? Do you have your nails done? Are your toes done? It's summertime. Like, there are things that you have to think about, okay? And you just don't have the time to be worrying about every other woman, because you have a list of things to think about for yourself, right? So less thinking about them, more thinking about you. And that's where I'm going to leave this video. So I hope you found this helpful, and I will see you lovely ladies in my next video.